Welcome to this edition of Business in Focus. Today I'm joined by Graham Mulholland, the Managing Director of EPM Technology. Graham, just tell me a little bit about EPM Technology and how you got into the business.
Well, EPM Technology, in my mind, is a high-performance engineering business, and we do make components out of carbon fibre. That kind of puts us into component manufacturing, but we're a lot more than that. So we're a partner to a lot of our customers who are Formula One customers, and we're giving them this sort of high-performance engineering service. So we manufacture Formula One front noses, chassis, floors, all the engine covers, and the rear wings, front wings, as you would imagine. And we're also now taking that into aerospace, where some of the components are quite complex and they're hitting very tight tolerances, and those skill sets do transfer very well.
So your entrepreneurial journey, just run through in terms of the sort of the highs and the lows that you've sort of gone through, because I'm sure lots of business, you know.
The official highs and lows. The highs have included moving factory and opening factories when you're sort of viewing them and you think, God, we'll never fill this, and yet you do, and then you ultimately end up having another one. Another high, sort of down a similar path, we started to do acquisitions, and we bought the business that I did my apprenticeship at, which was very, very nice at the time, and that's where we're sat today. So that's quite special. And then sort of inevitably the lows, people-driven, money-driven, people that don't share your vision, I call them zappers, that you're working really, really hard and people just zap your energy. We've had, the honest position of very, 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 very nearly going bust, and that's as low as you can go. But as soon as you know you're there, you know you've got, the only way is up. So we sat down, we said, well, for every pound we've lost, we've got to make £3. How are we going to do it? And we've never looked back. We had to learn the hard way, and we got our auditors in. So it doesn't feel right. For the first time ever, the business doesn't feel well. So we spent £28,000 auditing the entire business over the space of probably 3 weeks, and we came up with a definitive number. This is how much trouble you're in. And now we have some golden rules from that, and one is absolutely watch your cash, know how much it costs to make everything, do everything in real time. Don't have meetings about what you did 2 weeks ago. Have a meeting about it today. And if you can't afford it, you can't have it. We measure the business all the time. People completely underestimate how important that is. And I get a report every day that says, this is what we did yesterday. Our target was to do this. We achieved that. And in our particular game, you don't make money by having cheap skill. We have 5 employees only who aren't on top rates of pay, and the 5 that aren't there today are trainees, and they will be there next year.
So how do you stay on top of your game?
Sleep is good.
Yeah.
I think you've got to recognise that you're performing. There's no getting away from that, and I try to avoid, if you like, the trappings of success, which is the dinners and the meetings and can you and can you and can you. Come here, work hard, get home, recharge your battery, get back to work, work harder, and manage that process. And I've got a few things that I do that I know when I'm a bit jumpy, and I can go for a run. The furthest I've run is probably about 7 or 8 miles before I've solved a problem. But of course that's one way, so I've got to get home. But because my knees are shot, I go mountain biking now, and you're thinking things through logically. You don't rush a decision, but when you make a decision, make a good one and stick by it, don't dither.
And the other thing I just want to pick up on is a focus we're looking at. How do you recruit a great team? How do you go about bringing the right people into EPM and then making sure that they stay with you and they do a great job. So let's break that down. Recruiting first, how do you find the talent that you need in order to grow the business here?
We never rush recruiting people. I think that's a pretty key point. Even when we've got big peaks of workload coming up, we've actually turned work away because we haven't got the right people, rather than just taking work on and then trying to fill the jobs. We do a couple of tests which give us a clear indication, and we look at what they do outside work. They come in with all the qualifications and the CV's all front loaded, straight to the back page. Are you a Boy Scout? Are you into ventures? Did you do the Duke of Edinburgh? What do you do in your spare time? Once we're over that hurdle and somebody's into the business, we've certainly been guilty of scaring people. This business moves incredibly quickly and you get rabbits in the headlights. So we've had to learn from that and just bring people into an environment where they can make a difference, where they can add an opinion to the table. They don't get shot down. It's quite a different area for people to work in. So we have to recognise that as well. And then the sort of old-fashioned values, would this business fail if you were to leave? If that's yes, you're doing a good enough job. If it's no, you're not doing a good enough job. So we challenge that triangle all the time to make sure every member of staff is absolutely given their all, so that if they did leave, it would be a fundamental effect on how we operate. If somebody zaps your energy, if somebody gives you a constant problem, if somebody comes in every Monday morning and it's like, hi, how you doing? You have a good weekend? Yeah, I did have a good weekend, but my lawnmower broke and then I lost my car keys and the dog died. That resets your mechanism and you've not even got to your desk yet. So people like that, I'm afraid, don't survive long here. So we don't take excessive time in that process. If we decide it's not working, we decide it pretty quickly and we move on.
One of the mantras I often use is slow to hire, quick to fire. And I think you've actually summed that up very, very eloquently. And on that basis, Graham, many thanks for being sort of in the spotlight this week. Some fantastic advice, and I think anyone who is running a business in Derby, Derbyshire, there's some really, really good learnings that we're going to focus on coming out of today's session together. So thanks again.